transactions. But the government itself is now offering more services online. And recently, you would have seen us offer digital motor vehicle registration and fitness and other services at the tax office. In fact, more and more our inland revenue services are being offered online, so you don't really need to go into the tax offices to do your transactions. Now, I know that there are still quite a bit of Jamaicans who would much prefer to go and stand in the line and speak to someone because it gives them the confidence that the transaction was actually completed. So there is still the view that transactions should happen in person. But that has changed rapidly since COVID, when we were forced to do transactions virtually. And so it is growing. And my own assessment is that within the next decade, I would say the vast majority, 80% or more of our transactions are going to be in a digital format, and more of our citizens, including our senior citizens, are going to be using digital platforms. The truth is that our senior citizens, our elderly and older citizens are already on some of these digital platforms. It is amazing to see the number of our older citizens who are on Facebook and TikTok and participating. And the challenge that I have is that they oftentimes reach out to me to ask if what they see on TikTok or what they see on Facebook is true. Because, you know, for many of them, the issue of digital literacy is a serious challenge. They would have grown up in an era that anything that is printed in black and white is oftentimes considered true. Worse, if it is broadcasted in a way that looks professional. And so we have to also be thinking about protecting them from false and misinformation. It is also the case that our young people who are technology native are also at risk, but one would hope that they would be able, because they are more in tune with culture, be able to decipher between what is not true and what is accurate. But even so, as we move to become more digitally oriented, we're going to have to pay attention to empowering our citizens to be more digitally literate, because the internet provides all kinds of information, oftentimes without any source of verification, moderation, or editorialization, which we formerly relied on in the traditional media. There was an editor, there are broadcast standards, and there are journalism standards. But on the internet, you know, any card can play. And so it can lead to the society entering what the sociologists call a phase of anarchy, where the value systems of the society is incongruent and oftentimes eroded. But we're here today to mark another, well, 3 Universal Service Funds provision of what we call the hotspots for communities. I believe we have 2 installed already, one in Tower Hill and one in Roden Crescent in the Malines division. And so we're doing one here at the DuPont area in Coburn Gardens. We'll be doing one in the Mall Road area of Olympic Gardens and one in the Jews Avenue area of the Malines division. So this constituency will be well served with free Wi-Fi access to the internet. Now, just to be clear, it is a free service, but it doesn't mean that if the entire community came out and stood around the repeaters that they all able to get on. The free service does have a carrying limit. So I'm not sure what the carrying limit is. I don't know if Charlton, you know what it is. It can carry about 400. 300 safely. Right, so the bandwidth, which is like the size of the road, that will carry the number of cars, if you want to use that analogy. The bandwidth will carry between 300 to 400 persons. If you're at the 400 limit, then the service would probably be dropping and you probably wouldn't be getting through. But you carry roughly about that. So when you use it, even though it is free, you should still be considerate. Don't stay on it forever. Use it to do your transaction. If you need to read an email, if you need to check up on your DMs and that kind of thing, you do that, and then you hop off so that someone else can get it. And would you be able to tell us, Charlton, what is the radius of the signal?
Yes, sir. Each access point covers, I think, 300 meters. 300 meters. Each access point. Each access point. I'm going to do a quick math.
Based on density, but it's more than one repeater.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So in this area, you're technically 7. So in this area there are 7. So it does throw the signal quite a distance. So you don't have to be exactly under the repeater, but it's good to be close by to receive the signal. And so I want to commend the Universal Service Fund. They have really, in the last couple of years, expanded the service. This is not a concept of this government. They've always been putting it, but we have certainly put the resources behind it, and we have expanded it significantly.
The Wi-Fi started, the community Wi-Fi started in 2020.
So Access Fund worked even before this administration to put internet access in schools. But the community Wi-Fi service actually, in its full scale, started under this administration in 2020. And that was necessary, as you would imagine, when the pandemic broke out globally. So we're now covering almost the critical spine within this constituency, where the bulk of the population would be. So right now, if you don't have internet and you need it to conduct any kind of business that requires internet, there is a free option for you. But if you go and you don't get on right away, don't get frustrated. Remember what I said, that there might be other people on it as well. So as you use it with consideration and discretion. We will continue to expand the service as we get more resources. Ultimately, however, the objective of the government is to have full internet coverage and access island-wide. So we are building out a broadband network right across Jamaica. And in fact, there is something called GovNet, which is the government's broadband network, which we have expanded last year. You may have seen that we were digging up some roads and laying cables, so that the government has connectivity for all its own operations and for schools and for our courts, our parish councils, our police stations and so forth. And we're going to expand that nationally so that we have a government broadband network. But we also want all communities to have access, so we are working along with the service providers in a public-private partnership to be able to bring to your communities broadband internet access at an affordable price. So ultimately, all Jamaica will have access to the fastest broadband speeds. So the question is, now that you have got this locally highway, what are you going to do with it? I have no objections to people using it for social purposes. You know, when I was growing up, I used to like playing video games too. Now all of these games are online. Many of our youngsters are going to gather under the repeater and they're going to be out there on their phones and they're going to be playing video games and playing against each other. I used to play chess online and you're going to have that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also want to encourage our young people, especially, to use the internet to create value. Because the internet can be used to create real value. And it is not just the access to the internet. Now you have access to artificial intelligence, which, you know, there is a sense in the debate and narrative that has emerged that artificial intelligence will replace human intelligence. And the first replacement of that would be in jobs. There is no question that technology has always rendered some jobs redundant and unnecessary. It's not just AI. When the printing press was built, the calligraphers and cartographers, they were rendered essentially useless. Right? That's just the nature of things. But the jobs that it will change, it will create new jobs. And so it is important that our young people get conversant with the technology, embrace the technology, and find new ways to use the technology.
Let me cut it out.
So we cannot look at AI as a threat. We must look at AI as a tool. But it is a particular tool, and you could call that tool a lever or a lever if you wish. Meaning that you can use that tool to lift more weight than you could lift by yourself. In other words, you can use that tool to do more work than your own mind and brain could do by itself. And if you learn how to use that tool, to leverage that tool, you can get more productive. We are at a point in the history of mankind where the promise of an exponential increase in human productivity is real. However, what is likely to happen is that some persons are going to embrace the technology and use it, and the vast majority of others either will not embrace it or will not be able to embrace it because they don't have access. And therefore, the digital divide is going to grow even wider. And as we have seen, the creation of wealth today is driven more by technology and digital activity than anything else. The top 20 companies in the world are all technology companies. And so for a small island like Jamaica, where we missed the first industrial revolution and we have missed all the other industrial revolutions, we've not missed them, but we've been way behind. We have to use this point to leapfrog, and we can do it. We can do it. So the strategy of the government, the big strategy of the government, is to first of all get access for the entire Jamaica. And that strategy is well underway with our public-private partnership to develop the island-wide broadband network. The second strategy is to give access, affordable access. And so we have used the Universal Service Fund to provide internet access in communities to get people to use it. The third strategy is to move services rapidly online so that our people can get the benefit of efficiency and greater productivity by moving services online. And that's the development of the National Identification System, which will allow online verification of your identity and to allow for digital transactions. And the government is going through and digitizing almost all its services. I would say that next decade you could get 80% of all government services that can be delivered online will probably be online. And then the fourth strategy now is to train persons in technology. And what we're looking for now is to start to develop a cohort of data scientists and engineers, because that is where the technology is going. So we have actually started that at a very low level with one of our partners, Amber and Heart, and they have the Amber Heart Academy, which is now training persons in coding, but they have now moved on to something called prompt engineering. They're training persons how to give directions and instruct artificial intelligence through creating what we call AI labs. How can we use artificial intelligence to improve the quality of life? And so we're building up the strategy. We have developed an artificial intelligence strategy. Minister Marks is in charge of that, and you're going to see that roll out very shortly. So as we move towards an election, which is, I know everyone here is in the back of your minds, you're thinking about it. There is a lot at stake, and there's a lot to be decided in the elections. And this administration, I believe more than any other administration, and I can speak with a certain definitiveness because I've served in a previous administration, and I've been in government now for 27 years. So I can judge administrations, and I can tell you that there is no other administration that has had the presence in so many elements and aspects of national development. And not just presence, but we have been very active in moving almost every sphere of Jamaica forward. And that is why we say, choose Jamaica. Because when Jamaica does well and Jamaica prospers, everyone in Jamaica does well. Think about it. We have halved murders in Jamaica. We have more than half serious crimes in Jamaica. Everybody benefits from that. And so we say, halve the poverty rate. We have, I keep saying to people, we have stabilized taxation. Nobody has to worry about new taxes being put on the budget every year. You don't have to worry about that. Right? In fact, we are the first government in the history of Jamaica to have given back taxes. And we are giving you back the taxes. We are the first government to do that. Governments have done amnesty, but that's what you owe on the right now. But no other government has actually taken money out of the tax revenue and said, hey, I'm giving this back to you. Right? In the reverse tax credit, this administration has done. But we are the government that has cut the most taxes. The public don't remember, GCT was 16.5%. We cut it to 15%. Transfer tax was, what was it, 5%. We cut it to 2.5% or 2%, I believe it is. And several other taxes. Not to mention GCT and electricity. Right? We have cut that now from 15% to 7%. So it's not just ribbons that I'm cutting, I'm also cutting taxes. Right? It's really so I think you have a lot of evidence to consider in the choice that you have to make. And it is a safe choice to choose Jamaica. God bless you.
You got a lot of information, right? A lot of information to take with you, and that's very important because we're not just here to bring the infrastructure. We're bringing the service, and we want you to take into information or to ensure that you are using it to help you in your day-to-day, to ensure that you're using the service to make your lives better. Open up doors, open up opportunities, and making the best of it, right? Okay, so before we go on to our vote of thanks, I want to take the opportunity to do 2 more giveaways because we have some devices, because we are the Universal Service Fund, and if we never did give our devices, we wouldn't have been the Universal Service Fund, right? So if you were paying keen attention to our CEO, as long as you were listening. First question, Prime Minister, he mentioned, he asked, and he also made mention that there are several repeaters, what we call access points, across the community of Cockburn Gardens. Who is going, and I need this person to be from the community, please. If it's a child or an adult, no problem. I want somebody to tell me how many repeaters do we have across them. I'm gonna try and answer. Alright? So just tell me, how many repeaters do we have across Cockburn Gardens? 7. And look how she never want to come in. Look how tablet, right, to come in up. Right from the Universal. I'm about to hand this over to him. Even his prize, right? As part of his segment, he made mention of that. Give her a round of applause, man. That means she was in our infrastructural rollout. Who is the bright sparks who is going to tell me how much money we invest on an annual basis from the Universal Service Fund? Brand new tablet is awaiting, you know. Who else wants to start the school year in fine style? Come sweet boy, I see my friend here in him red shirt, changing lives through education, what? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to ask you to tell me, how much money does the Universal Service Fund invest annually?
2.8 million.
I love him confidence, you see? You sure? Let me give you another chance. One more chance.
2.8 billion.
2.8 billion is close. Him warm, you know. Him warm, but him not hot. Right? We need one more, but I still gonna give him a goodie bag. Jessica, give him a goodie bag for me, please. I need one more child to come. Child to come. Child to come. Child to come. Come, my billion. Lord of His mercy. Tell me your name. Proud. Yeah, bright girl. Your mommy is there. Yes, mommy. Bright girl. Good job, mommy. Come for me. CEO, you want to come and hand over this? Thank you so much. Starting this new school year in September. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right. And now I'll be asking Miss Christanique Aiken. She'll be doing our vote of thanks. And what better way to start with the youth by giving away 2 tablets to 2 young persons, right? Come, Miss Aiken. She'll be doing our vote of thanks. Make her feel welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Dupont Primary School, the Bellrock community and other surrounding communities, I would like to express my deepest appreciation and thanks to the U.S. and other stakeholders who made this possible. And of course, to my Prime Minister and Member of Parliament, the Honorable Holness, for inclusion for children, and not just in my community, but other communities as well. Today is not just a launch, but a memorable moment. Not just a launch, but a memorable moment where kids and adults alike can access to free Wi-Fi bridging the digital devices. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Give somebody a round of applause. Give her a louder clap, please. Round of applause for her. Thank you so much, Miss Aiken. And to close, I just want to say again, thank you on behalf of the Universal Service Evangelistic Assembly, or board chairman, Mr. Wade Brown, parish manager of Social Development Commission, Mr. Rowe, who is prime the Waterhouse Steppers, who did us as well, and our keynote speaker, Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Thank you, the community members of Cochrane Gardens. Thank you all for coming out today.